2 Samuel 11:2-3.
And it came to pass in an eventide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, "Is not this BathSheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?"
This week on the 7 Black Matriarchs of Israel, we are covering my favorite Black matriarch, BathSheba. BathSheba was the mother of Solomon, described as the wisest man in the Bible and the richest. He had over 700 wives and 300 concubines, resulting in numerous children. In fact, one of his wives was an Egyptian princess, which was very unusual, as Egyptian pharaohs rarely married their daughters off to foreigners. BathSheba means daughter of Sheba, which means 7 or an oath in Hebrew. Sheba included our modern-day Yemen as well as Ethiopia, and Sheba was a daughter of Cush, meaning black. In 2 Samuel 11:3, we are told that BathSheba's father is Eliam, and in 2 Samuel 23, we find out that BathSheba's grandfather is a Gileonite. Gileonites come from Gilo, which is a city in Judah. Judah was a son of Israel, Jacob, and his wife Leah. Judah married a daughter of a Canaanite, Shua, and had 3 sons with her, Onan, and Shelah. He, Judah, through deception, had 2 sons with his daughter-in-law, Tamar. She played the harlot, dressing up as a prostitute, and lured her father-in-law into bed without him knowing it was her. That's described in Genesis 38. When she revealed herself to him, she was already pregnant with 2 of his children, twins called Zerah and Perez. And Perez, according to the Ethiopian traditions, would become father of the Persians. In the Keber Nagas describes that further. Another Zerah other than the child of Tamar is mentioned later in the Bible as Zerah the Cushite, who fights one of the grandsons of Solomon, Asa. And this Zerah the Cushite has been identified as a Sorkon, 1 or 2 of the 22nd dynasty of Mizraim, which is Egypt, which was a Libyan dynasty. And essentially, so what does all of this mean? This means that some Cushite Judeans were also northern Egyptians, Libyans, Africans. How this could be might be through these Cushite Judeans, being descendants of Judah and Tamar, could have migrated to Mizraim during the 12th dynasty. Circa 1890 BC, the Egyptians record the Amu, led by Abisha the Hyksos, entering Mizraim. Abisha is another name for Habesha, the Abyssinians, the Ethiopians. And maybe not all of these migrants were Shebeans, but some were. Around this same time, according to the Bible, Israel, Jacob and his sons and their wives, including Judah and Tamar, entered Mizraim, where they would remain for centuries in slavery until the Exodus under Moses. The place where these migrants inhabited in Mizraim is called Avaris, where there is the Mound of the Jews, or Tel El-Yudia near Cairo, near Heliopolis, On of the Bible. And if you recall, Yosef, another son of Israel, married the daughter of the priests of On, Asenath. You can see my first video in this series on Asenath. The Mound of the Jews was also controlled by Nubian Semites, the descendants of Queen Tati and Seshai, the Semitic Canaanite king of Mizraim, Egypt, who had a son Hesi and a daughter Tani that would occupy the Transjordan home of the Sashu, identified as Israelites and early Israelites and Midianites. According to the historian Flavius Josephus, the Midianites, being sons of Abraham and his last wife Keturah, inhabited Troglodytes and Arabia Felix as far as it reaches to the Red Sea. And that's in his book Antiquities. Arabia Felix, South Arabia, is Yemen, once called Sheba, and Troglodytes includes both coasts of the Red Sea in Arabia and Africa, known as Libya. The last son of Abraham and Keturah was called Shua. Shua inhabited northern Mesopotamia, modern-day Syria, unlike his brothers who inhabited Africa and Arabia. And Shua in Greek is translated as Saba, similar to Saba or Sheba. And in the Greek Septuagint, Saba is the wife of Judah. After the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt, Mizraim, Judah was allotted the territories in the southern parts of Israel, the Transjordan, that was occupied by Shebeans, who were also Midianites, the Shasu. In fact, all the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, lived in or near Beersheba, meaning the well of Sheba, 7, or the oath. BathSheba, again meaning the daughter of Sheba, was also called BathShua in 1 Chronicles 3:5, and BathShua means the daughter of Shua, who was the father of the wife of Judah, or the name of Judah's wife. Hence again the connection between Shua, Sheba, and Judah. In fact, I'm convinced there is little difference between Sheba and Judah. The history or herstory of the kingdom of Cush and Meroe align with the story of Judah from the Bible. The kingdom of Cush began circa 800 to 780 BC, around the time that Judah of the south, the southern Israelite nation, succeeded from Israel, the United Nation, which in the north was called Samaria. Cushites were forced to move their capital south to Meroe around 591 BC after the Assyrian conquest of Mizraim, which forced the Cushites out. Similarly, Israelites, who were not exiled by the Assyrians during their conquest of Israel in the north, moved south to Judah. There's much evidence for the existence of Samaria, as several other kings at the time of its existence attest to it in other nations. There may seem to be little evidence for the grand kingdom of Judah described in the Bible until we include the kingdom of Cush and its daughter civilization of Meroe called Sheba, which we should, as the Bible makes the connection. And this connection, this unity, this identification of Judah with Sheba has been attested by Ethiopians and Rastafarians who adopt and promote their Ethiopian traditions. According to those traditions, Solomon, son of BathSheba, had a child with the queen of Sheba, described as Queen Makeda, 982 BC, on the Ethiopian queens and kings list. And she's described as the daughter of Agabos, who killed Arwe, the snake king who ruled Ethiopia for 400 years. Queen Makeda ruled around the time of Karimala, a Nubian queen who was likely daughter of Osorkon the Elder, the Libyan pharaoh, reigning 992 to 986 BC. The son of Sheba and Solomon was named Menelik I, from his years were 982 to 957 BC, also called Bena Lechem, who brought the priests of Israel and treasures back with him to Ethiopia, according to the Nebuchadnezzar, which is the 14th century national text of Ethiopia. The tribes of Dan and Judah were said to have followed Menelik I, and there is significant evidence of these Jews in Ethiopia that cannot be denied. However, they were also in northwest Africa, according to oral tradition. The Kieta dynasty of Mali, that once ruled the Ghana Empire of northwest Africa, descended from Bilal ibn Rabah, the Abyssinian of Ethiopia, related to Sheba. Additionally, Za Aliyaman, which is Diliaman, founder of the Zhang dynasty of the Songhai Empire of Northwest Africa, originally came from Yemen, Sheba, according to oral tradition reported in the Tarek al-Sudan, written in Arabic around 1655. And many of the captives of the Americas came from Northwest Africa, those who weren't descendants of the captives from the Americas, indigenous Americans themselves. For decades, Rastafarians have maintained that many black people of the Americas are Israelites and they descend from this union of Judah and Sheba. And we give thanks to our Rastafarian ancestors for maintaining this tradition so that it could come down to us today to learn who we are. And we give thanks to BathSheba, a daughter who became the mother of the wisest king of Israel. Give thanks, Rastafari.
And don't forget to check out our Patreon page for Patreon privileges at patreon.com/wistribe. And you can also join us checking out the links below, as well as getting some of our books, our secret sacred text recommendations, which will also be linked below, along with links to Misstory, the story of our ancestry. Give thanks. Thank you for listening. Peace.
Are you tired of working that 9 to 5? Gotta scrimp and save just to survive? Come get the tools you deserve to thrive when you decide to take the dive into the pursuit of your own bliss. Come learn how to start a business. For the book or the course, you just need to go to the website linked below. All brought to you care of online.